My name is Henry Inabnett. I was radarman for third class when I was in Vietnam, and retired as an operations specialist first class, which is just an extension of that rate. It was a change of duty. Well, I specifically remember January 28th, 1969. Sorry. Our boat officer got together with the 100 boat. We were on the 35 boat, and the boat officer all wanted to go down this particular canal. We had been down it before, and nothing really had happened. We just went down it, but he wanted to go down there and have some kind of backup. So we went down this canal, and nothing really happened. We got down as far as we could go. We turned around and started back out, and the 100 boat in front of us got hit. And at first we didn't know what was going on. There was a lot of smoke coming out of the other boat. I didn't know what had happened, if an engine had blown up or whatever. And but then I was on the P tank. I was a radarman on the M60 machine gun in the bow of the swift boat, and I saw that there were two guys in the water, and I reported that to the officer, John Rowland. And so we started procedures. He said, well, let's try to get them out of there. I went back, passed him up on the port side of the boat, and got the boat hook, pulled, and I got hold of one of the officer, and he grabbed a hold of the radarman that had been blown off of the boat along with him. In fact, the radarman was the helmsman during the raid, and he was inside the cabin, the forward cabin of the boat on the helm, and he was blown out of the door. The boat officer was on the starboard side of the boat, and he was blown off the boat. They were hit with a B-41 rocket, and it went completely through their cabin, blew out the other side, blew their radio out and everything else. And so they were blown off the water. Gerald O'Grady, who was the officer, indicated that he did not know he just blacked out for a while, but then he regained consciousness. He got the radarman, pulled him together with us, saw that I was trying to get a boat hook to him, so he pulled back. Well, I pulled him around, got him to the port side of the boat, and of our boat, and they pulled. John Rowland tried to pull him out of the water, but their flak jackets were also, they retained some flotation, and so but it was heavy, and he couldn't do it by himself. So we threw him a line, and they caught a hold of that line, and he said, well, go on, and he got the line. Well, we started out the river, or the canal, with them holding onto the line. Well, they couldn't hang onto the line. We lost them, so we had to turn around, go back and get them, and again, maneuvered back around, and all this time we were under fire. We were getting fired on from both banks, and most of it was coming from the left side of the river. And we maneuvered there a while, and I think the two people, the gunner's mate the bosun mate and the engineman who were on the fantail of our boat, pulled them out of the water, and that was John Pank and Bill Clark. Pulled them out of the water, and so we got out of there. We go and get out of the river. On the way out, our boat gets hit. Goes in one side of the boat and blows a hole, about 4 inches wide on one side, but then it blows out the entire radio. It goes through the radio equipment, the radar equipment. There were two radios that it just blew out, and then blew off all of the windows on the other side. Of course, all of those windows were made to pop out real easily, so it wasn't unusual for them to just pop out. But they blew that side of the boat out. We had no communications. We pulled out of the river and we saw that there was a Army mite boat at the river when we came out. We did not, that boat wasn't there, so we don't know where it came from. But we pulled up alongside it, and they had a helicopter pad on it. So we called, my officer called in a report of the raid and the action, and also called in medevac to pull the two guys. I was responsible for, we got the two guys that were in the water, we got them out of the water, and I assisted the, well, I didn't assist, I did the first aid on the officer, Gerald O'Grady, and his total left leg was mangled with shrapnel and whatever. And at the time, that I didn't know it, but I took his shoe off, but I decided to leave the sock on for some reason, and there's no reason why I would have left that sock on. But I left the sock on and did not know until later, I got a report a week or so later, that his big toe was almost severed and that he would have lost his toe if I'd taken the sock off. So anyway, we got that all taken care of, and we got them medevac. Well, I gave the guy some morphine in the leg. He asked for it because he says he knew that we had some aboard. Being an officer, I didn't even know we had it aboard, but we did that, and then we started cleaning up the shells that were all over the fantail of the boat. 50 caliber machine gun shells, and got that all taken care of. We normally ate regular food. I would cook something during the electric skillet off of our generator, and fix us something. Well, that night we just pulled out the sea ration and did that. We got together with the other 100 boat that had pulled out of the river ahead of us, and we moved on to down to Bentry, which was on the same river, and I don't remember the river name. It's a Vietnamese name, but it's near Bentry in one of the rivers down in the delta of Vietnam. And we spent the night there, and our boat officer actually went over and to the hospital to make sure the officer was okay, because that's where they took the officer after they medevaced him. And both of the guys were in good shape. Gerald O'Grady later told me he had an operation there in Bentry. He went to another place there in Vietnam. I'm not sure where, but then he was eventually sent to Japan, where he was able to meet up with his brother, who was in the Army in Korea. So they had a reunion there, and then later on he went on to the States, and that was his time in Vietnam. But